Hi, this is Dr. Erica Lewis recording the mini lecture for Module 4. This mini lecture is quite brief, just like most of the other ones have been. And really, Module 4 is focused on doing assignments. So it's bringing together all of the things that you've learned in the class. You might need to go back and look at some of the lectures and content from the earlier modules in order to do these. In particular, the lectures from Module 1 that talk about design thinking could be helpful to you. So just keep that in mind that you might want to go back to those prior lectures. So really, you might have noticed we didn't address how long it takes to form a new habit in this class. So the research on this is really varied, and if I had to sum it up, I would say that there's not one specific right answer on this. It seems as if 21 days is the minimum needed to form a new habit, and that is really, it seems like for most kind of easy habits, like adding, drinking extra water into your day. If you're trying to reform a heavily ingrained habit or form a new habit that requires substantial change in your life, it's likely that much more like 66 days plus is going to be needed. So just kind of pause and think about what that means in relation to your new habit that you've been having this budding change. So how might you do a good job at continuing to solidify that new habit as class ends? I would really encourage you to try and find a community to encourage you with that habit. Find some accountability so that you're hopefully being able to continue with the next couple weeks at least to solidify that habit if it's something you want to have in your life. So several assignments, I'm going to review the assignments for this module in depth a little bit more here, kind of verbally, because there are more assignments and less reading in this module. So there's several assignments that are participation assignments. Participation assignments, essentially if you do them, you get your points. So the first assignment is to do the course evaluations, and this is in no way like some sort of bribing to make you say nice things about the class. I just want you to actually just do the evaluation, and I won't even see those evaluations until long after your grades are in, so all you need to do is complete those, and for this course evaluation assignment, write completed into the comments. Then I had told you earlier that I would give you points if you met your goal. So just a simple yes or no answer to this assignment. Did you meet your goal or not? And if you want to offer explanation, you're welcome to. And I'll really let you be the judge. You know, if your goal kind of morphed a little bit throughout, or if you feel like you mostly met your goal, I'm really leaving that up to you on your honor to say whether or not you met your goal. And again, that's a relatively low points assignment, so this isn't going to be a major swing in anyone's grade. So peer evaluation of the journey map. The journey maps are due on May 30th, and we'll talk more about those here on the next slide. But I'd like you to offer one of your peers feedback. So once all the journey maps are submitted, those will be randomly assigned to a peer reviewer, and the peer reviewer should fill out the rubric, the grading rubric, and offer some comments on the journey map. I'd also really like to encourage you, I'm going to open a discussion board. I'd like to encourage you to share your journey maps with each other, early this week, maybe today or tomorrow, to give each other ideas moving into the final journey map assignment. So that is not mandatory, that is just going to be there if you want it. So then to this final journey map assignment. So this is just resubmitting with the changes, the journey map that you've been working on throughout the class. So this is due on May 30th, and you should have your infographic updated through May 29th if possible. So you get some points for aesthetics. Is this graphic easy to look at, read, understand? Have you cut extra words, especially if I mention that as being a difficulty with understanding your journey map? Are you using graphics instead of words whenever possible? Is the content flow good? And do the images that you have relate to the content? So you get 2 points if your problem is clear and concise. And then you get 4 points for linking your problem to chronic illness. So some of you did this really well, and I think as you post your examples, if you are willing to do that here in the next day or two, that will help each other. You want to avoid kind of airy general statements about it being bad for you, or that link between illness and the habit you're trying to change. If you can point to an authority or some specific research, that is best. However, in a graphic like this, we're also not trying to, do clunky citations and things. So you may just list the author's name and report that they're linking your problem to the chronic illness, to the habit you're trying to change. And you see I gave an example there to hopefully help you with that. A good, concise kind of way to link the two things, and then also be kind of not overwhelming with the amount of words. You want to have a visual track of your journey. So your overall journey should be clear, why you selected the problem using visuals, and the tracking of the problem is clear. Now you tried to make specific comments on your individual journey maps about this, where this could be improved. And then you have 6 points if your infographic is clear and useful and matches what you're trying to report. So how did you record your habit change, and was that clearly done in your final journey map? So for some of you, this may mean adding some to your prior journey maps, but in general, this shouldn't be a terribly long assignment. You should be able to make the changes that were suggested and resubmit this. So that comes to our kind of biggest assignment due here at the end of class. This is considered kind of the final exam. And in this prototype reflection piece, we're really taking what we learned and thinking, what does it mean for our future practice? This is a 5-page paper with an attached prototype, and you're going to learn in the last chapter of the Achievement Habit what a prototype is. You can also go back and watch those lectures on design thinking if you need to. You should use the headings and have an introduction. In the introduction, you want to summarize what you learned about habit and design thinking using those subheadings and citing the text as appropriate. And then the meat of this paper is the application. So how could you apply what you learned in your future work as a medical practitioner or in your field of chronic illness? I want you to be really specific. So and also use 1 or 2 sources here to specify the problem and come up with a creative solution for applying what you've learned. You're not graded on feasibility, so this doesn't have to, I'm not going to go through and figure out whether or not you could actually do this next week. But dream big and try and come up with something that could actually make a difference. And then your references, those probably won't actually be a full page long, but references should be on a separate page, so those are 1 page. And then a prototype. So you'll learn again what a prototype is in this module, and you're not graded on your artistic ability at all. You're graded on your ability to convey an idea. So you have this idea for application, and what you need to draw on computer or by hand is how that application is going to look. And that can be a process application, in which case you would just illustrate the steps through drawing. If you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm really happy to help you with any of this. I know this week is kind of a whirlwind, and that's part of having one of these midterm classes. So I look forward to speaking with you all on the phone this week. It's another one of our application assignments, and that'll be brief, just a time to talk a little bit about the class and your habit, and connect about how the course went for you. So I look forward to that. All right, I'm also happy to answer any questions when we talk on the phone. All right, thank you.